An ambiguous scenario we have here on the USDJPY where I don't know if price will be going up or probably price will be going down. And so why have I said this? Let's look at this closely and let's look into the daily time frame and see what is happening on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we do have an impulse leg which began on the month of February as we saw price run through into 132 area before we started seeing price do what looks more like a lower low and lower high since the beginning of May. You will agree with me that on the USDJPY we have been on a very strong bullish momentum, and to be on the safer side you might be thinking let's do any let's do bullish buyers going into the new week. However, we cannot just jump into any position without looking at the various parameters that will guide our action going into the new week. The first thing first I observe is this impulse leg, which culminated at 131,500 area earlier this month. And we all understand that after every impulse leg, there will be a retracement fade, probably move into our golden zone area, which is always between 50 and 78.6% retracement before we can see the trend continuation to the upside. So in this regard, if we run our Fibonacci retracement tool right through that impulse leg, we would have a golden zone right around 50 and 78.6% of that impulse leg, which falls around 120 Japanese yen. So if we follow technical structure, we should be expecting a buy opportunity around this area. However, market does not work like this all of the time, hence we really need to look at what structure is giving us right within in the last couple of weeks to decipher what's actually going on in the market. So if we scale down to the 4 hours time frame, the first thing I observe here is that price has been moving in a very uniform descending channel. As we can see, price continue to respect the channel since the beginning of the month as price continuing to do lower highs and lower lows. However, in the month on the 19th of May, we saw that price began finding it very difficult to break below 127 area, hereby which was successfully broken a week later, that's on the 24th. But if you notice the expansion that has been coming since the beginning of the month, you will realize that the expansion that happened on the 24th wasn't that strong. And you can see on the 26th, the expansion, the bearish expansion, wasn't as strong as the one we've been experiencing so far. So allow me to give you a visual representation of what I'm talking about. The first rejection of this is this. We had this move down to the downside. That was a bearish expansion. And if we look closely, we can see that the bearish expansion we had here was not as strong as the one we had earlier in the month of May. And since then, we saw another bearish expansion here. As you can see, the bearish expansion continue to reduce as time goes by, which gives me a clue into the strength of the bullish momentum at this point in the market. So if you look closely into what I'm talking about, we have a structure that looks more like this. We have this move down, we will move down. Then we see that price as the expansion has reduced, hereby we should be expecting that price will come back down to this area. But we notice that buyers are very strong at this point as they continue to hold price supported within right above 126.5 area. So now, with us going into the new week, we really need to look at what we're going to be our guide going into the new week. So the first thing first I did was identify a key level to guide our action going forward. If we look left, we can see that we have structures right around here, which has been a support level for quite some time. You see a support level, a support level, a support level. So we saw multiple resistant level around this area, that is in the later part of last week trading session. So with this being said, a key level at 127 area shall be our guide going into the new week. So allow me to label this area for the sake of clarity, as this shall be our guide going forward. So let's have it right on the left hand side. I think that would be most preferable. So we have a key level right at 127 area. And now look, going close, zooming into what happened the last 1 week on this time frame, we can see here that we do have a demand level around here that has been holding price action supported in the last 1 week. And this is what we have at this point. So if you allow me, we should be labeling this place the demand zone. um, I think I will have to put a question mark here because we are not yet sure if that demand zone shall be what will guide our action going into the new week, as we are going to be expecting to see structures that will give that demand zone more significance going forward. So with the demand zone around here, as you can see, price has been rejecting this area since on the 24th of May. Price broke above that key level, came back down, rejected that area, can continue to find higher lows, giving us a sign that we might be having a bullish momentum in this regard. So one thing I want to be looking out for when I scale down to a much lower time frame, let's say the 1 hour time frame, is that I identify that there is a bearish trend line we can play around with going into the new week. So if you bring out my line chart at this point, we will definitely see a bullish trend line evolving right behind the scenes. And if you would allow me, let me make it a little bit bolder so that we can have a sense of clarity into this. So with a demand zone around this area, and if we look closely to as well, we can see that we have a supply zone as well right above that key level. So let's label this a supply zone. So what this simply means is that since the beginning of last week, price has been juxtaposing between our 126.5 area and 127.5 area to give an insight into the indecision that has gripped the market in the last 1 week. So with this indecision in the market, definitely we want to be looking for a signal in the form of a breakout or a breakdown to take advantage of whatever impulse move that will be coming up in the new week. So if we go back to the 4 hours time frame, what we want to be looking forward to, if we want to take a buy opportunity, buy position on this trade, on this pair, is that we want to be looking forward to a breakout of structure, that is a breakout of that trend line, that red bearish trend line, which also shares a confluence with that key level at 127 area. I want to look for a retest of structure and probably a pattern that supports a trend continuation to the upside. So what this simply means is that the supply zone now will now be a new demand level going into the new week. That is, if the bullish signal comes up. So, and the other scenario we're having here is that if we have a breakdown of this bullish trend line, which also shares a confluence with the demand zone, that is a breakdown of that key level, sorry, a breakdown of that bullish trend line, and also the demand zone, then we probably see a retest of structure in the form of respecting that bearish trend line. Then we might want to be looking for a sell continuation in the new week. So what is our position going to be like if we are going to do a buy or we are going to do a sell? So for a buy scenario at this point, we want to be taking advantage of any buy momentum right above this key level. That is after we have our confirmation set. So we want to be seeing, for the meantime, we want to see our position look somewhat like this, with a stop loss right below the key level, and also right above that bear bullish trend line. Sorry, give me a moment. I want to be saying something like this. So we want to be saying something like this. So with about 45 pips stop loss on this one, we want to be having a take profit target right around this area, at least for the meantime. And the reason why I'm having one I think 129 area. 129 area seems most appropriate at this point, considering the psychological number. And the reason why I've chose 129 is because if we look left, we can see that we have an area where sellers actually have a strength in this market. So one thing I want to be looking forward to is a 180 pips approximately for a buy potential on this trade. However, if we do see a breakdown of that bullish trend line at this point, then we want to be looking forward to a retest of structure in the form of a retest of the key level or the bearish trend line, after which we look for structures that support a trend continuation to the downside. So what this simply means is that if we are going to be taking a selling opportunity on this one, we want to be selling right below that bullish trend line. That is after is the confirmation is mature, then we want to be having our sell position looking somewhat like this. We have our sell position looking somewhat like this, with our stop loss right around that key level, right around that key level at around 45 pips, and then we have our take profit target at the end of this bearish of this channel, which is around, let's say, 124.150 area. Mind you, we will be moving our stop loss accordingly as price action moves in our favor. So this is what I'll be looking forward to going into the new week. And whatever happens as the market opens, market will soon be opening the next couple of hours. As market open, whatever happens will now determine which direction we are going into as time goes by. So please note that I always do regular updates in the comment section of my TradingView account every time to time as soon as I see any opportunity evolving in our favor or against us. Thank you for watching and do have a wonderful day. Bye.